Hello everyone. In this video, I want to bring back to those who grew up in Dalat and went to Bui Thi Xuan High School. This was my school during my teenage years. The memory of Bui Thi Xuan Girls High School, Dalat, before 1975. There are places in our lives that never leave us, no matter how far we drift across oceans or how many decades slip quietly past. For me, one of those places is Trường Nữ Trung học Bùi Thị Xuân Đà Lạt, the girls' high school that stood like a garden of youth, discipline and hope in the misty heart of the Central Highlands. The story of Bui Thi Xuan is not just a story of a school, it is also a story of generation of young women who were raised under the blue skies of Dalat, preparing to step into a future that promised both freedom and responsibility. And tragically, it is also the story of how the currents of history could sweep that future away in a single season. The beginning. The school was named after Bùi Thị Xuân, a national heroine of the Tây Sơn era, a woman of courage who fought for her country with both sword and heart. To bear her name was already a weight of honor, a reminder that young women could carry not only books and dreams, but also strength of a nation. Bui Thi Xuan Girls High School was established in the early years of the Republic of Vietnam as part of the broader vision to provide women with strong educational foundation and to prepare them to be not only wives or mothers, but also teachers, nurses, writers, professionals, and leaders. By the 1860s, the school had already become one of the most respected girls' high schools in the Central Highlands, alongside the famous yet Saint High School for boys, later on changed the name to Trần Hưng Đạo High School. Bui Thi Xuan Girls High School was not only a place of learning, it was a landmark etched into the very map of Dalat, nest among pine-covered hills and misty mornings. The school sat back to back with two institutions that carry immense weight in the cities of Dalat identity, Trường Chiến tranh Chính trị, Political Warfare Academy, and the University of Dalat. From the schoolyard, the echoes of military drills from the academy sometimes reaches the classrooms, a reminder that the country outside the gates was at war. On quiet afternoons, the sound of church bells and youthful chatter drifting from the university nearby created a softer counterpoint, two words, one of discipline and defense, and other of scholarship and youthful dreams, both standing as silent neighbors to the lives of the young girls in their white áo dài. A place of discipline and grace, the girls who entered Bùi Thị Xuân High School were trained not only in mathematics, literature, or languages, but also in posture, manners, and dignity. The school emphasized the image of the Vietnamese woman as gentle yet intelligent, graceful yet resilient. Teachers were strict, but behind that discipline was a deep love, for they knew the times were uncertain and education were the surest path to safeguard the future. The school motto, though never carved in stone, was lived out daily: virtue, knowledge, and service. Many of the graduates would later become teachers themselves or enter professions where they quietly shaped society. But perhaps the most lasting lesson of Bui Thi Xuân gave us was the bond of sisterhood. Unlike co-educational schools, there was a unique sense of intimacy, of sharing secrets and supporting one another in a world where girls still had to fight for recognition. The laughter in the hallways, the whispered dreams before exams, the shared lunches of banh mi and chè, all of these are etched in memory as brightly as any lesson in the classroom. The principal desk, a changing nameplate. Like every school, Bui Thi Xuân had its guardians, the principals, who carry the weight of leadership. Through the years, several women dedicate themselves to guiding the students, ensuring that school live up to its name. But during my time, by the early 1970s, the principal was Mrs. Trần Phương Thu, a woman of dignity who took office in August 1973. Under her leadership, the school maintained both of the academic strength and its moral discipline. She was remembered as a firm but caring, someone who could balance tradition with the needs for modern education. According to the official records, she remained principal until March 1975. Then came the storm that no one could stop. After April 30th, 1975, the day South Vietnam fell and Dalat, like every city, was handed over. The entire administrative structure of the school shifted overnight. The new government appointed Mr. Võ Quang Nghĩa as a principal, and his name was recorded from 1975 to 1978. That change might seem like a small detail, just a name on the door of the principal's office, but for those of us who lived through it, it was a wound, for it meant that within the same academic year, before the ink of our notebooks had even dried, the rhythm of the school was broken. One morning, we still had Mrs. Trần Phương Thu guiding us and familiar sense of continuity, but next morning, after April, everything had changed. New rules, new flags, new song to sing at the assembly, and the very air felt different. That sudden break was not just a matter of administration, it was the reflection of the entire nation fracture. The chalkboards and the textbooks could not hide the reality that history itself had entered the classroom, dividing our memories into a before and an after. 1975, the year of interrupted dreams. For those of us who were students in 1975, the memories are bittersweet. We had studied hard, preparing for exams, hoping for a future in university or professional life. Many of us dream of becoming doctors, teachers, or writers. But as the weeks of March and April unfolded, the news grew darker. The Central Highlands fell one province at a time, and Dalat, though still quiet, with its pine trees and morning mists, felt the tremor of fear beneath its calm surface. Parents whisper at night, radios hum with anxious reports, and even in school no teacher spoke of politics. We all felt it. Then came the end of April 1975, arrived like a shadow, descending on the white áo of our youth. The bell of Bùi Thị Xuân still rang, but it no longer called us to secure future. We were suddenly citizens of a different country, under a new system, new rules that erased the old rhythms of our education. Some of our classmates fled with their families overseas, others stayed but carried the weight of silence and loss. The innocence of school days was cut short, as if someone had closed the book before the story reached its ending. Memory and legacy. Today, when I look back, I realize that Bui Thi Xuan Dalat was more than just a school building. It was a cradle of memory of a generation of girls who lived through the last breath of a nation. When I recall those days, I see not only the pie-shaded classrooms, but also the image of the principal Trần Phương Thu, still standing at the front of the assembly in early 1975, reminding us to study with dignity and perseverance. I also see the abrupt arrival of new faces, new authority, and the silence in our hearts as we try to make sense of what was happening. Bùi Thị Xuân was both a sanctuary and a mirror of history. Within its walls, we live some of our happiest years, but also witness how fragile even the most secure institutions can be when the tides of politics shift. Whenever I hear the name Bùi Thị Xuân, I think of the heroine who fought with courage centuries ago, but I also think of young women in white áo dài carrying their books across the misty courtyard of Dalat just before the great silence of 1975. The principal desk may have changed its nameplate from Trần Phương Thu to Võ Quang Nghĩa, but for us, the students, the true principle of memory remains the one who guided us through the last intact season of our school life. And so, even as time passes, and even as the pipes of Dalat whisper to a new generation the memory of Bùi Thị Xuân Girls High Schools before 1975 still lives within us. It's a reminder of beauty interrupted, of dreams paused, and the courage to carry memory across oceans, so that the world will know that once on the hill in Dalat, there was the school where young women grew wings before history clipped them. Thank you so much.